us to come tonight, and he's not here yet.
I'll have to find a chair for him.
Yeah, we'll find a chair for him. You can sit here.
Can pull my office chair in here.
It's nice.
Okay, I call this meeting to order on March 9th, 2026, 6:30 p.m. Pledge allegiance. Who began? Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Whalen.
Here.
Bashano.
Here.
Walden. Campbell. Here. Approval of the agenda.
We need to add the quote for the diamond dust. So when it gets ready, they can start applying it to get the fields ready.
So we're going to G.
Yep, diamond dust quote.
How many tons are we getting? 50.
I guess it's a double or a train.
Okay. I'd like to just add Parks and Rec at below the fire chief, or the fire and the sheriff. Reports.
And for H, I'd like to add a Sam's Club membership.
Make a motion to.
Just 1 second. I don't think that we have the building report on here either, so we need to add that to the.
Which one? I'm sorry.
The building.
7.
Yeah, probably 7G. Building report.
I didn't hear what you said, but I'm sorry.
The building report, which is in the packet.
Make a motion to add 7C, Parks and Rec, D, Building Report, and in new business, G, Diamond Dust, and H, Sam's Club membership.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, approval of the minutes. Okay. Thank you. Anybody see any adjustments for the February 9th minutes?
I do not.
Motion to accept the February 9th minutes. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. February 23rd. accept the February 23rd minutes. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Very well written minutes, Carson.
Good job, Megan.
Public comment, 2 minutes, agenda items only.
Can I speak on that?
Yeah.
Because I gotta go to Lansing.
This is on Linwood Beach, right? We can give you more than the
No,
2.
it's pretty good. I can handle it. Okay, so everybody, I'm your state rep, Timmy Beson. What we're talking about here today is the LDSI, which stands for the Legislative Directed Spending Initiative. And I put in last 16 of them. Somehow, they throw it around, and in our area, the leadership down in Lansing, Matt Hall and our side decided that this is the project that they were going to fund out of my 16. So every year, every year it's something different. This is the funding, and this has to do with the Linwood Beach flooding. We got it in the grant process. It's with Leo, and I actually ran into Brad Eddy probably at one of our Republican functions. I was like, hey, have you got the money yet? And he said no. On February 23rd, we started digging into it, and the 1.935 million, which is awarded, and the money's there for this year, so we can spend it down. And I think Spicer's is taking the group. I just get the money, and then the township takes it from there, because they get a quote right to me. So it's all set, ready to go. And we dug into it, and I said, hey, Leo, what's the scoop? I haven't heard anything. And they said, regarding the LDSI, there was email to Supervisor Eddy on 116 and 24. Then when we talked about it, he said it went into a spam mail, so we ended up finding it, and the money's there. We're going to get going on it, and the project won't be gone. So that one will be set for this year. I'm excited because I have 23 LDSIs, and like the bridge grant that was taken away, that we took away with, well, what happens is when the money's not used in the time that it does, it goes back to the township, or sorry, it goes back to the general fund, and we stopped all the spending. There was $350 million, actually there was $600 million, that was just like a rollover of surplus, like indigent defense got $50 million. Even though they didn't use any of the money of the $200 million, they were just going to put it back in. So I was like, no, let's get rid of that. Well, guess what? As of today, I talked with MDOT, and it looks like that we're going to have to request not 1.6, more like a 1.93 because of the number that they actually got for the LDSI, the grant that they're trying to get back in the day. It was a rough estimate. Well, we got the truth, and it's a little bit more, so that's going to be, so I'm actually going to take the grant that I asked for the 1.6, sorry, before it was a grant, now it's a LDSI. So that way your legislator or your senator can actually say, I got this, I did this, I went to bat for it. So that way, sometimes in the budget down at the state of Michigan, is somebody out of the air puts money into the budget. So all these legislative direct initiatives can no longer come from a department head, no longer can come from a staff, or no longer come from a lobbyist. Like, I have to put my name to it, and I think it's the greatest thing ever. Because I think that even this grant, the one that got turned around, if they would put their name to it, then we would have actually had invented it. So I'm testifying tomorrow for the Garfield or for Fraser Township Fire Hall. Like, we're starting to testify at all the grants, and every grant has to go through this process. I think it's great, because that way we have to show where it is. I know that the money's all set, and then after our meeting, I had him go back, and he reached out to Eddie sometime in the late February, and I think that they said they got it all squared away, and we're good to go. So, and we do have, you have a good person in charge. We worked with Norton quite a bit, and he goes to a lot of the townships. He'll get it done. He'll make sure it's great. The money will be there to get that project done. And maybe that we won't have Lake Louie anymore. It was really good. It went kind of viral, and the kids can get picked up for the school bus. The electric cars won't zap out.
That's me, Tim. I'm the little old lady with the electric car.
So, yeah, so keep driving the electric car, because the rest of us are paying high gas prices right now. So I just want to make sure that everybody knows that. I'm off to Lansing. Like I say, we have new LDSIs coming in. The money's there for this project, and as long as we do something this year, you won't have a problem. So,
Do something.
well, it's going to happen, and later he'll probably talk about it, so that's really good. As for, if anybody needs my card, I'll leave some here. Call me. And if you look on the end down there, his name is Brian Taylor. he is my new LDSI. He replaced Bob. He's also a local guy, which is great because now we have somebody that actually lives in our county that knows what's going on. And we're going to split things up on Mondays and Fridays in district and every other day that we're off when we're not down in Lansing. So it's nice having somebody that grew up here. Like, and Bob was close in Freeland, but Brian's interest is, you know, he grew up here too. So that's really all I have because I am going back to Lansing tonight. And my first thing is at 8:30 up tonight back in Lansing. We're going over some of the bills and some of the new legislation. The only other thing I did this last week was I passed some food bill laws where a fire truck would get one inspection from fire chiefs, and they're on board with this. And then that's good for the whole year in every county, because sometimes you get to some counties, I don't even have a food truck, but there's different rules for different food trucks based on whether they're local food trucks or non-local, and it kind of plays some favoritism, and I don't like that. I like the same rules across the board. So I'm excited to go back down there. There are some more projects I'm trying to get for you guys' area, some more to do with some sewer and stuff, with matching some federal dollars, but we're going to be working on that, and you'll probably hear about it as it kind of comes out, and we'll see how that goes. So once again, I do plan on getting the bridge funding for the second bridge. I just hope that it gets done on adequate time before everybody blows up my phone because the people in the city will start having to pay to go across the bridge. So that's going to be and once again, the bridge partners, you guys, we got dealt that came in before me. We're going to deal with it. All I can do is to try to be very persistent that they don't make any money on us, and they can't use the Secretary of State against us and a lot of other things so that I'm a pain in their butt, and maybe they'll figure out a way to get out of here. So I'm going to stay very persistent on that. So I really appreciate you guys for being here. There's something about being in this position and taking arrows all the time. It's not great, and some people can handle it, some people can't. I don't think my wife likes the fact that I take arrows all the time. I just have, it's no different than the 20% of customers you're never going to make happy. So I appreciate you guys being here, and I think that's all I have. I will be in the parade, so if anybody sees me in the parade, I'll be in the parade this next week, so I really appreciate all you guys coming out in the snowstorm. Bring something warm with something in it, if you know what I mean, okay? So, I'm telling you what I hope to have out there. And the LDSIs are from all over. I mean, there's this year, besides the bridge, there's a couple, there's actually one with what I really like, with the cruise ship and Mir, which is a big company that's trying to fix the coming in off of the Saginaw River to trick in case we were to ever get a cruise ship. And there's some big things working out down there. So anytime I get a chance, and I work close with Jake Bennett, very close. He was my guest. I know that he's a Democrat. We work together all the time, folks. We have to down in Lansing because that's how we win in our area. Is there any questions before I take off for you guys?
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Great job, Tim. Thank you.
And if you guys come to Lansing, please look me up. I love making his new life heck, because I can blow off Lansing and hang out with you guys. It pushes up like all my meetings. Thank you.
Public comment, agenda items only.
Thank you, Tim.
Public comment.
Dennis Finn, 451 South Huron Road, been served.
Public comment. Public comment. Public comment. Okay, we're gonna close public comment. Treasurer's report.
All right. Everything's pretty par for the course on the first two reports. The last report, we did have some additional interest come in on one of our CDs, which has been renewed for a 12-month period with a good return. So the investments are doing well in that regard. Outside of that, so we did just wrap up, as I'm sure everybody knows, tax season. So I wanted to give a little update on that. So summer 2025, my office had processed 2,504 summer tax payments totaling $3,981,679.73. Winter 2025, my office processed 3,074 tax payments totaling $3,225,219.05 for a total of the 2025 season of 5,578 tax payments totaling $7,206,898.78. Of those amounts, this was the first year that we had online payment capability. So for summer 2025, we had 102 online payments totaling $129,781.46. For the winter season, we had 223 online tax payments totaling $196,623.75. For a total of 325 online payments in the first year, totaling $326,405.21. The company that we're working with for the online payments said to expect about 3% that would take advantage of the online payments. We actually have nearly 6% of the payments received that came in through online. So that indicates, obviously, the people of the township were ready for that convenience and appreciated that convenience. That is all I have.
Motion to accept the treasurer's report. All in favor?
Aye.
Department,
That needs to be roll call. That's mine.
roll call, Campbell.
Yes.
Walden.
Yes.
Eddie, yes. Shane,
Yes.
Leyland.
Yes.
Department and committee reports. Fire department, our fire chief's a little bit away right now, enjoying himself in some warm weather. I don't think any of his representatives are here. They were supposed to.
Just he wants to make sure the resolutions are passed for his MRMs, which we've already taken care of. And then station apparatus lighting bay, we had a few lights through. We just need to check.
I think he said he had put a call out on those
Right.
to see what was going on because it wasn't.
And I said you put the switch in half the bay, half the whole room there.
Other than that, we don't.
Okay. Motion to accept the fire department report.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Sheriff's report. We got one this month. Thank you, Chris. Looks a little low compared to our normal, but that's good. Motion to accept the sheriff's report.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, Parks and Rec, on last Monday night, the Parks group, with a bunch of young kids, stuffed 2,200 eggs for the Easter egg hunt coming up. So, just wanted to update on that, they plan on doing that number, yet and doubling it, so, should be very, very good. That's all I got for that.
Did they get the stuff I sent you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good. Motion to accept the Parks report.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Building report.
We're able to pull some back information and provide reports for December, January, and February for the building report. Thank you, Rebecca, for working on that.
Charlie, was there anything you wanted to add to the building report that we were talking about earlier today?
Oh, about a specific address you mean? or-
Yeah.
Um,
Did you want that to be looked at?
Well, that would be something that we're gonna have Jay probably look into. We had a person that brought up an address, and I'm not going to disclose that address at this time. But the house was raised, and when the house was raised, a permit was purchased for raising the home for $3,000 value. But at the time, when Dick Bias went and reviewed it, he found that there were quite a few deficiencies, like needed electrical permit, needed plumbing permit, mechanical permit. None of that was ever dealt with. That's like done on cruise control, and there's, as far as we know, and I say it in that context, there was never even an occupancy permit issued on the property. So we're looking into that. But it dates back, David Rowe was on, and he said additional permits were needed, and it's in previous minutes. So we're going to see if we can maybe get some answers on that one. It would make sense. Because the mechanical furnace was replaced, and it's not supposition, you can tell it was. And there were pictures of inside the home prior. So,
Okay, so we'll make a motion to accept the building report, but have our inspectors find out what went on with that.
what happened?
Second that.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, unfinished business, 2025, 2026 budget amendments. So what is the overall amendment for 125 total? or-
Well, that's the shortfall, but we still had a payroll today and a payroll in 2 weeks. So some of that had to be kind of estimated, how much more we were going to spend. In addition to that, obviously we have bills to approve. I think those are okay, but I would have to double check it after those bills hit the system to make sure. But this should take care of the bulk of the issues. I did speak with accounting on a couple of things. The main one of note is the very last item on page 4, which actually has to do with some misapplication of road patrol bills, where we had an account that had residual in them, or in the account, but they were taken out of a different account and therefore had a shortfall. So I believe that those can be transferred. I was just double checking because of some of the fund concerns on that. But it does appear that
Blue box?
yes.
Yeah.
So outside of that, these should take care of all of the issues, or close to all of the issues,
So
I hope.
are these like sheriff's department payments in there?
Yes.
Okay.
So,
And this should make us finish the year out.
it should, there might be a couple of little things that can't be expected. They'll need to be tweaked, but for the most part, this should set it straight once we get all of these done. And obviously, there's a lot of them.
I'll make a motion to accept the budget amendments as presented.
Second?
All in, or
Roll
roll call?
call. Roll call.
Roll call. Walter?
Yes.
Whalen?
Yes.
Shayna?
Yes.
Eddie, yes. Campbell?
Yes.
Okay, the 2026-2027 budget. I worked with as many numbers as I could over the weekend. I'm not saying it's all clean, but I looked at last year's stuff and we didn't start out clean, we got clean. So we're 22 days away from having the budget completed. But I had problems today loading. I did it in in Excel, and I downloaded the spreadsheet out of BSNA, did the stuff in Excel, and I tried to upload it back into BSNA, and I could not figure it out. So I had to do it all manually, and then I ended up having Greg Feature know how to do that manually. But some of the stuff I believe is close. Corey, like you were talking about with the sheriff's patrol, there's actually 3 accounts that the sheriff's patrol payments come out of, and I know that with the union adjustments this year and stuff, I raised some of that stuff up. I think it was 3 or 4%. But the marijuana revenues, that's one of the things that come into play to pay for the road patrol. And we put a budget in for $40,000 last year, and we exceeded it by 30.
Because they were past due
Because
payments. Yeah, they were from
I
previous
was wondering
years.
what.
Yeah.
So needless to say, there's 2 other road patrol accounts, and then there's certain things that I know we're gonna make decisions on later. The Bay County Road Commission estimated roads. That's at a hefty mark right now. We're probably gonna need to, in my opinion, cut one of the roads off of there. And there's adjustments on, the hall that we talk about, how much money, gets allocated for the hall renovations and stuff. So, I think that the RFP contracts to do with the lawn maintenance and stuff are all gonna change. I think that a lot of that stuff's gonna be raised. I talked with Clerk Waldy today about the 3 elections that he has, and he gave me an estimate of what he felt he needed to do those 3 elections. And then I did speak with him about, we need new elections equipment. I know we were at a Williams Township MTA meeting, and Kathleen Zanotti, our county clerk, was telling us that we're soon to be outdated on our voting equipment. So we need to make, our resources available for the clerk's office to update that stuff. So there's certain things that I didn't know. I thought she was saying $15,000 a machine, but I don't. Again, that's Charlie. You were at that meeting. The MTA.
Yeah, but the difference, the saving grace for us, we used to have, technically, we had 1 for absentees, and we had District 1 and 2, and we don't have that, Precinct 1 and 2. We have Precinct 1 now, so technically the cost of replacing the equipment could go down easily 15 grand, but we still had to buy those new election bags, because that's a absolute situation.
Those are minuscule dollars,
Compared to the new equipment.
Yeah, compared to the new equipment.
Yeah.
The thing with the new election equipment is, and again, this is kind of the speculation, some people, or the rumor is that the state may say, we're gonna pay for it. The other side of it is, the state may say, the township's gonna have to pay for it, and there's a third group out there saying it's gonna be a 50-50 split. We won't know until the time comes up.
D-Day.
And unfortunately, we're in a holding pattern, but we still have to make the money, allocate the money for something that we don't know what's gonna happen. It's just the way that it is.
May or may not be.
And the revenue sharing was another thing that I looked up on the state's website. That's down 6% for the year, so we don't get as much on that. And me and Charlie were even looking at the public safety portion. It's down.
I asked Timmy, I ran into him in the grocery store today about that, and he said that there was still, it's grant money, but it's not. The state set it based on your statistics. And there was a report that I cannot put my fingers on, and it said, this was our statistic, this is what they give us. And that report that you have does not show our statistic. He said, I think it's a separate pot of money due to the crime that the area had. So he says, I still believe there could be $7,000 to $8,000 more that we would get that would actually be able to be allocated directly to public safety, because that's exactly what it's given to you for. So,
And
but
if we find anything like that, please share it with
Oh,
me so I can
we're-
adjust it, because I have,
he's looking for it, as am I, because I want to know if $8,000, we could really use it.
anything the board can, tell me that's needed, or just flat out communicate with each other. There's a lot of changes. There's accounts that we didn't even touch last year that we appropriated for. So, I know GL accounts are supposed to get cleaned up and stuff, and maybe that'll account for some of this, but, it's confusing when you're looking at money that's just sitting there and it's never got touched.
Some of it got moved around with those new accounts because there were expenses being taken out of pots that they really weren't supposed to be. So some of those that don't have allocated funds is because they're new accounts where things were kind of separated out. For instance, the penalties, late fees, and interest.
Is
That was,
10,000?
yeah, that was a brand new account, and that had to do with all of the penalties for errors as well as interest for withholding that wasn't submitted, and penalties for that,
But
all
we're gonna
kinds of
try
different
not to,
issues.
we're gonna try not to
That's-
have those.
That
Right.
should not be,
But it all goes into one pot that way so we know what it is rather than jamming it under something that looks like a normal expense when it's not.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying that, because it was confusing looking at that amount. But this at least gives us something to start off from.
It's a starting point.
Exactly.
so when will we have our next budget meeting, since it's going to
We
be
can
due
do,
by April 1st? And this is
Two
technically our
last.
first viewing of it.
we had 2 last year, we didn't even start till the 10th.
It's nicer to have it done early than late.
We didn't even get some of the numbers until last week.
I know, I'm just saying that we have to make sure we,
But motion to accept the draft,
the first
I
draft.
don't,
first draft of the 2026-2027 budget.
I'll second that.
Okay, roll call, Whalen,
Yes.
Eddie, yes, DeShano,
yes.
Walby,
Yes.
Campbell.
Yes.
Frazier lift pump. I just want to let you guys know, I did forward you guys all a very recent email from Tim Fitzgerald at the Department of Water and Sewer. Tim Fitzgerald, Ryan Goebel, I think Kerry Christensen, they have all searched, as well as I talked with Pat Powers Saturday at Funeral in County, and they've searched. There's no ownership shown for that lift station on Linwood Road. So we've shared for many years all these expenses, and now we know that it's kind of, I guess, a shared, it's on our side of the road, it's in our township, but.
It drains 2/3 of the village of Linwood, it's in
Correct.
Fraser.
Yeah.
It's majority.
Because the rose bush goes into that drain, and the rose bush is purely on Frazier's side.
And I had heard at one point that this had to do with a court order. That it was a court order that required us to share 50/50. Where that is or even when it occurred, I don't have that information. But, that has always been the standing order that the expenses have been shared for anything in that area since it's right on the township line. So obviously there's overlap.
The bad thing is it actually shows part of somebody's private parcel. That's what everybody's telling me from these places. So
Well, who knows how
somebody
long it's
shared.
been there?
What's that?
Who knows how long it's been there, because
Correct.
obviously it hasn't been taken care of.
That pump station's been there late 60s, 70s when it was put in with the storm drains for the village. So,
And Fraser's always been very good about respecting their
kid, you were a
50%, paying the 50%.
I thought about 69 when all concrete tubing was brought in.
thinking early 70s.
So Frazier tonight is putting this on their agenda, pass for their half.
Yeah,
I'll make a motion to pass for Calhoun Township's half of the lift station on Linwood Road.
which should be about 31,000 roughly.
Between 31 and 32,000 is the best estimate we can come up with at this point in time, because our estimate
Just
is,
an estimate.
our estimate is 4
Everything's
months
going
old.
up big time.
I second that motion.
Okay, roll call vote, Shano,
Yes.
Eddie, yes, Walter,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Whalen.
Yes.
New business, bill pay.
Hey. Okay, time is it? And I apologize, there is one bill that I printed out your little matching set before we got one in that I was not expecting when I went ahead and added it to my master list. So if it's not on your list, you can go ahead and add it. It is for
Great Lakes.
Great Lakes for $1,480. So that would bring the total of the bills that need to be paid to $50,202.84.
One more time, I'm sorry.
$50,202.84.
Make a motion to pay the bills.
Second.
Roll call, Walter,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Shano,
Yes.
Whalen,
Yes.
Eddie, yes. Charlie Columbarium, adjustment to cemetery closing.
Well, yes, 1 second. Pull you back and find your papers.
I think everybody got this as well, which wasn't specifically
Oh.
referenced, but I know there was something about that.
Yeah,
so
that's a
it's on
cemetery issue.
Yeah.
So,
I'll let you go ahead and describe that.
Okay.
Just in a moment.
everybody find, these are the two things you're looking for. That picture of the columbarium was installed in our cemetery at the end of last year. And now we're working to get it so we can start selling it. So everybody finding their paperwork. Let's talk about the trash barrel first, because that's simple. That's this piece of paper. So we had a bus in the cemetery, the bus ran over a trash can, so we have to replace it. And the Bay County Bay City Public School bus driver admitted responsibility, and we were to replace it and send them a bill. When Section F was put together, we have never put trash cans in Section F. So when we order these, we will order 2 more trash cans for a total of 3. And Uniline has the exact ones that we have in the rest of the cemetery, and it's hodgepodge in the place. The cost, if you buy 3 or more, is $305.
No.
Or $205.
Okay.
$205, and then, freight, whatever that would be.
It comes out to $615 plus shipping.
Right, okay.
So would anybody like to make a motion on
I'll
that?
make a motion to purchase the 3 foyer mesh container baskets for the cost of $615 plus shipping.
Second.
Roll call, Shano,
Yes.
Eddie, yes, Walter,
Yes.
Whalen,
Yes.
Campbell.
Yes. So then, to the columbariums, which have niches, and each side has 6 rows, 4 high, except for the very center unit, which is 5 high, and 2 rows on each side. So with all of that in mind, yes, you have the same price sheet that I made sure there was in there. So in looking at our price structure, and in light of everything, the price adjustments, we just went right through the whole price sheet. There were actually 5 funeral homes consulted as to what would be construed as a fair price, as to what other places are charging in the area, as to what it actually cost us, what was our investment. So an adjustment on our grave price of $50 from $750 to $800, and then for non-residents that went to $1,600, and then right of second interment has an additional price there. It went to $375. Right of second interment is if you have a cremation bench or you buy a monument that has an oversized base and they bored holes so you can put cremains in it. So when you come in, it takes money to keep maintaining the cemetery. So if you were to inter ashes into a bench or that, or Dad is buried traditionally and you decide to put ashes on Dad's grave, that's classified as a right of second interment, because this is not something, make sure that everybody can understand what we're talking about. That would cost $375. You don't have to buy another lot to do this. There's no other bookkeeping fees. That's the cost there. Now, if you're putting the person in the ground, and this just happened last fall, where a funeral home sent ashes to the cemetery, had them interred, and we were never paid the right of second interment. And our sexton was in the cemetery working and asked what they were doing. And he said, so do you have a burial permit? Nope, didn't have that. Do you have your cremation permit? Nope, didn't have that. Do you have a right of second interment check? No. So I got to speak with the folks. They understand and they're going to do it. But so that price changed, and then our wording changed to say traditional vault, because before it said vault, and that could be construed as we're selling vaults. We're not selling vaults. So a traditional burial, we made sure the English is proper, would go up to $11.50. In the winter, there's a lot more that goes into it. Instead of jacking the price 6 months out of the year and doing this, we just level that off. Our cemetery has not been and never will be a profit maker, but we should be a break-even maker. So, and then traditional non-resident is $12.50, and on a weekend there's an additional $3.50 fee. The cremains to be interred, that went up $100 Monday through Friday to $4.50. Cremain additional fee for Saturday of $1.50, and we did have an additional fee prior. So now to the columbarium. For these niches are you get the niche that will hold 2 standard size urns. And if you don't buy an urn, it's just a box, and that you can actually even fit more. But anyway, 2 urns. And then we have a company that's going to do our engraving. It's just going to be very simple engraving so that we don't have something that really starts to look bad. And I have actually looked at different communities when I have been out of town to see what they do, and this is a very, very common practice. The only additional item that I've found in those communities, Rochester's a great one, they've got them all around down there in their cemetery, is they will put a veteran's flag. But other than that, you don't put anything additional on there. There's no crosses, there's no rosaries, there's no phrases. Our prices are the cost of the niche, the open and close of the niche, and the engraving. So it's actually a good savings. The township will make it clear to anybody that buys a niche that we have an engraver, so that we don't have multiple types of engraving on these doors and then look like a nightmare. We don't need that, because the doors are not cheap. They're black granite from India. So
when these get 2, let's say on the wall.
correct. So what they do is the surname would be slightly shorter, and actually I did hand those papers out several months ago that showed one name with the birth month, year of birth dash death, and then there's a slight line, and then the second person's name, and it does fit on, and it does look very nice. So, but he just cut this so we would have an idea that this is the type of lettering that we're looking at using. So anybody that comes and looks at these, there's no guesswork. They know what they're getting, and they can't say, but you told, no, here it is. Because the only way to not have a problem is, as our lawyer has the look on his face, black and white.
Keep it simple.
Yeah, and there's no problem with it. So when it comes to that, I made it clear what we can do with this. So the resident pricing for a niche would be $3,200. And